Hello, Valkyries. Hello, Valkyries. I hope that you have had the most amazing New Year and the other holidays you celebrate. This is the time of rest and hibernation, and I hope you're feeling very well as the darkness envelops Europe and especially Scandinavia during this time. Since there isn't a whole lot to do outside anymore, and it gets dark very, very fast, I thought I should go back to making some videos a bit more often. Ideally, I think I would like to post 2 or 3 times per week. I haven't yet decided which days. Now, thank you for your patience, and let's talk a little bit about today's topic, which is, of course, Dalahäst or Dalahäst. This is what it looks like. Most of them are made in red, and this is believed to be for different reasons. Either that, because red color brings happiness during cold times, or because during a period in history in Sweden, red color was very affordable and easy to find, which explains also the tradition of Swedish houses and barns being red. Now, they are not only made to be red. Sometimes they can be blue or any other color. You can be creative making them and painting them. And this art is very important for Sweden, and especially the southern region of Sweden. Called Dalarna. Well, it is not the southernmost, but it is southern than me, so it feels south from where I'm looking. Dalarna has its own unique culture compared to the rest of Sweden, in my opinion, that is very colorful and really cheerful in nature. Now, let us go back to our little friend that we're supposed to be talking about today, the Dalahäst. Now, what do you think is the symbolic and purpose of Dalahäst? It is okay if you don't know, and it is difficult to guess, because sometimes people also disagree about why it was originally made, but it is believed that they were made for the very first time in the 17th century. There is a number of villages that are quoted to be the origins of Dalahäst, and they are famous for them as well today. I will be happy to link this in the description for you to do your own research further if you wish. People generally tend to agree that Dalahäst has come to being, was first made in the 17th century, but they are not exactly sure why that is. Some people say that the men who are working in forests have found a way to entertain themselves when there wasn't much to do as far as chores and fun. So they picked up carving small leftover pieces of wood, and they sort of created these little horses. Some people also claim that they are supposed to be toys. Their size varies. For example, this is not a real Dalahorse. Unfortunately, I do not own one. I know. Absolutely embarrassing. I plan to fix it someday. Dalahorses are usually carved out of wood as a single piece, and they do look like toys. Very simplified version of a horse that has 4 legs. And of course stands by itself, not exactly like the magnet in question. Most of them are red, and that is the image of Dalahorse that most people have in mind when they are mentioned and seen. The Dalahorse is usually also artistically decorated with the colors you associate with winter, such as white, red, and green. It is supposed to have a sort of a little saddle here, and it usually goes around the neck and around the body. Now, the Dalahorse has actually taken off thanks to teenagers. People from the previously mentioned villages made these toys and gifted them to their children, and 2 teenagers aged 13 and 15 of unmentioned gender that I know of have decided to take it a step further and create their own business making and selling Dalahorses. And so it took off. Dalahorses started to be sold around Sweden and have spread around different Swedish areas, so-called län. But the real interest in the Dalahorse as the symbol of Sweden for tourists and foreigners alike actually comes from a very lucky convention that was held in the United States in 1939. Yes. And during this convention, a gigantic red Dalahorse was placed as the Swedish exhibit. People thought it was very unique and something they have never seen before. During that year, following the convention, the Dalahorse was sold in America in 20,000 copies, which is quite a lot for that time, seeing how each of these little guys had to be carved by hand. Usually, on the body of a Dalahorse, you can see some strokes of a knife or a chisel, though it is not always a rule. Yes. I am unsure whether this one was made in Sweden or not. even though it says Sweden on it. It does sound and look a little touristy, if I'm being perfectly honest. Which one do you prefer? Do you like red or the blue one? Feel free to tell me in the comments below which of these two suits your tastes better. Now, this is not the only design you're allowed to do on your Dala horse. Most of these horses are red, and they can be completely plain, just colored red, or they can be decorated. They come in very, very different sizes, and they are priced accordingly. They are available from many, many different places, including your local IKEA, that always has a Dala horse decoration available, but especially around Christmas time. Just this year, I think I have seen 2 of them. You can also look for a Dala horse in your local thrift store, where you are bound to find them for quite cheap. All kinds of designs are perfectly acceptable, but some are more common than others. The most unusual Dala horse I have seen was white and intended to be designed to look like a chubby nerd. It was about this large. It had a swollen tummy, and it was decorated with Arabic numbers and math symbols. I thought it was very neat, and I deeply regret not getting it. Now, have you ever seen a Dala horse in real life? Would you like to own one? I am hoping to get one someday for myself, and if the opportunity comes along, I am going to grab the little nerdy one. Thank you very much for being here with me today and listening to my ramblings. If I accidentally missed to mention something about the Dala horse, please feel free to correct me and add. And if your comment is informative and lovely in your intone, I will be very happy to pin it so that we can all continue to be educated about this lovely country and its traditions. Thank you, and have a very restful night. Goodbye.